Hello, it's Bryan here from thegreatgordino.com and in this video I'm taking another look at one of my own quote images, and for this time around you might need your climbing boots. The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. Vince Lombardi. Now, I will say right from the word go that yes, I know that picture is not of a mountain, but I'll cover that later in the article about why that picture isn't of a mountain and why the picture still works with the quote. But as for the quote, what a quote it is. Vince Lombardi, a big name in NFL and sport in general, coach of the Green Bay Packers, brought in some innovations to the game and took them to winning the first 2 Super Bowls. And in fact, after he died, the Super Bowl was named in his honour. So to this day, it's still the Vince Lombardi trophy that they actually play for. So how did he get himself and his team and his name and reputation right to the top level there? Well, the answer is work. Hard work. Because yes, Vince had refreshing tactical skills on the field, and he was well known for his motivational skills to get players to do what he wanted. But he used those motivational skills to get them to put in the work. And I love that. I love the idea, and if you relate it to the quote, the reason why it works so well, what an image. The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. Because you could just fall to the ground and hope to get to the top of the mountain. But Vince Lombardi would say, no, you don't fall to the top of the mountain, you have to work. So you decide to get to the top of the mountain, you work out how to do it, you work out the steps, and then that's fine. Even that's fine, but you won't get anywhere without taking the first step or putting your hand in the first position. And then you better get ready for more and more and more and more hard work. So Vince Lombardi was all about the hard work. He had a ferocious work ethic himself, and he expected that of every single one of his players. If any of his players didn't come on board with that work ethic, they weren't his players for long. Now, if you decide not to do the work, you could decide to fall down at the bottom, lie on the ground, and maybe hope to get to the top of the mountain by falling to the ground. Or maybe you could lie there and moan about the other people who have got to the top, because life's unfair. Oh, it's okay for them. Why can't it happen for me? Really? Is it because life's unfair? Is it because of obstacles, or how it might be difficult, or barriers in the way? Or is it because you decided not to do the work? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't barriers in the way. I'm not saying it's not difficult. I'm not saying it might be a pain. Now, it'd be silly to say that. Life can be extremely difficult, but nevertheless, the decision about whether to take on these challenges or not is yours. And I like another quote from a current leader in the motivational field, and that's Bryan Burchard, and his quote is that when opportunity knocks, don't be surprised when it's hard work that answers the door. I like that one. That works well, doesn't it? I call action one of the 4 magic words beginning with A, because if you don't take action, don't be surprised if you don't get the results. And if you do take action, then you're on the road to results. And I say you're on the road to results because if we look at actual rock climbing, actual mountain climbing, it could be that you don't get to the top. Even if you take action, you don't get to the top because the weather's closes in and isn't good enough, or you get frostbite, or a ledge gives way and you break your leg. There could be any number of circumstances outside your control that stops you getting to your goal, even though you've decided to put in the work and you've put in lots and lots of hard work. Well, that's just life. That's the way it goes. That's why Vince Lombardi's teams didn't win the Super Bowl every single year, because that's the way life goes. That's not a good reason, not a good enough reason not to do the work though, is it? Now, I did say at the beginning of this video that I would go back to that picture, which I know full well is not of a rock. It's actually of, well, it is of a rock actually. It's not of a mountain, it is of a rock. It's of Ailsa Craig Rock off the west coast of Scotland. And that is where all the curling stones come from, which is a sport that I'm passionate about. And I decided to go all the way up there, hundreds and hundreds of miles, just to take some photos of the rock. And I went over to the rock and took some photos over at the rock. Something I decided to do. I could have just sat at home on the sofa, thinking about taking the pictures, wishing that the trip would just happen without me doing anything about it. But no, I decided to put in the work, drive all the way up there and take the pictures. Now, I didn't know that that tower was on the rock until I got there. And I saw it there and I thought, oh, that makes a nice little picture. So I decided to take the picture. It's not even at the top of the rock. It's sort of, well, it's not even halfway up, I'd say. But it's high enough up that angled slope to make it perfectly clear how difficult it must have been to get that tower up there. That tower wasn't built by people lying down at the bottom and hoping that it would get built, wishing that it would get built, expecting someone else to build it even. No, that tower was built by the decision to build it and then putting in the hard work to build it. And it might have been a lot of hard work. In fact, looking at the tower, it definitely would have been a lot of hard work. So when you get to the top of the mountain, whatever your goal might be, whenever you get there, does that mean that the work is done and stopped and finished all over? Well, not necessarily, because if we go back to the mountain climbing analogy, you've got to get back down again. And sometimes in the world of actual mountain climbing, coming back down again is actually harder and more dangerous and more risky than going up in the first place. So once you decide to take on the challenge of the work, don't expect it to be a short-term thing. Expect it to be a long-term thing. Take on the challenge, take on the work, and it's worth it, because if you do that, you're moving towards your life's passions, your life's goals, the authentic, real you that makes you feel alive. So, the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. Great quote from Vince Lombardi. And if you like the quote and you like this video, let me know. Leave a comment below wherever you happen to be seeing this video. Pop over and see me at the blog, thegreatgordino.com, where you can grab my free 8-step goal achievement formula, which encompasses all sorts of subjects, including this idea about the work that it might take in order to get to your goal. So, Gordon Bryan signing off, ready to climb mountains if I so decide to. Are you ready? Make the decision, take the actions. It can transform your life, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.